Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, welcome. We're the Garso Twins. I'm Carly.
And I'm Britta.
And we would love if you would subscribe before you leave. If you like this video, we do lots of beauty videos, reviews, weekly favorites, monthly favorites.
Yeah, lots of lifestyle stuff.
Yeah, lots of good things. So please stick around if you like it.
Today we thought it would be fun to look back on our 10 years of vlogging. We started our blog Twinspiration in June of 2013, which is insane.
It's wild, and even though we don't post regularly like we used to, it's still active.
Yeah.
And it's still up, and we have so many posts on there. I think it's at like over 500 or something.
Oh, really? That would make sense. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, and so we're going to just take you through our journey to celebrate this 10-year milestone.
I know we talked about this before, but just to recap why we started our blog Twinspiration back in 2013, we were in college. We went to Cal State Long Beach for journalism, and in one of our classes, was it Judy's class?
It was Judy's class.
Okay, we loved our professor Judy
Frutig.
Shout out.
She
was
loved
the best.
us.
Yeah, she did. But we've talked about her, I think, before. So she assigned everybody to start a blog. Do you guys remember Blogger? It was, who made it?
It was
Google?
by Google. Yeah, there was only Blogger and Blogger and WordPress was around, and then I think there might have been another one.
Yeah, the one that people jotted down their thoughts, like their diary, live journal. Yeah. So we were assigned to make Blogger vlogs, and we had to pick a topic, and I think we did one a week, and mine was, was it called Sweet Eats? Mine was definitely called Sweet Something, and it was all about my favorite like bakeries and candy places in, well, I did Long Beach and San Diego because we were living in San Diego at the time. And then what was yours?
Mine was Dancing with the Stars.
Oh my god. I named it after the dance. And it would why did we never do this? Like keep up with it.
And I would recap like the dances that week, and then
this is just like, we love that show.
Yeah,
we still love it though.
Yeah,
it's
so
such
funny.
a joke.
People
that, like, don't change.
Yeah, it's like our longest running thing that we are obsessed with Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
But recap the dances, and then I would I think I would talk about like the voting, because at the time, the time the voting was like delayed or something. Like it was like predicting who was gonna go home. I remember like the backsplash of the blog was like this repeated Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, I remember.
Logo.
Yours was like black.
It was black.
Okay, yeah, mine was pink.
You couldn't do much on Blogger.
No.
There wasn't like that many customizations, but basically we had been bit by the bug by doing those blogs. We loved that class. It was one of, I don't even know what the class was called.
No.
But we loved the class, and we loved the blogging aspect, and like, I don't even know, maybe like a month into it.
Yeah, pretty shortly after.
Or I guess because we started in June. So maybe like when the semester was done, we were like, why don't we start our own blog? Because we had been following A Beautiful Mess. At that time, who else was there? There was other blogs. There was like food blogs.
A Beautiful Mess was our favorite. Cupcakes and Cashmere. Studio DIY.
Studio DIY wasn't out yet, I don't think.
No, maybe it was, but maybe we weren't following her
Maybe it
yet.
had like just started. But there was some blogs we followed, and we were like, oh, like they all sort of just talk about things that they're passionate about and things that they really like. And we were like, well, we like a lot of things. Like, why don't we just talk about all of our favorite things? I think our first blog post ever, we had hidden some
that were so
but I think it was like literally called like our favorite things.
Oh no, our tagline was, these are a few of our favorite things.
Yes.
Because we've changed our like logo and layout several times.
Yeah, so, and then we were like, we need a name, and I was like, it's so cheesy now, but it still fits, so it's like good, but I was like, oh, it's like, we're like giving inspiration, and we're twins, like we can call it Twinspiration.
Yeah.
So we needed Twinspiration. We were never able to get Twinspiration.com because someone else had it, and we emailed them, and they said they would not give it to us. So Twinspiration.co was born, and we just kind of went at it, and we didn't really care. We literally had no shame, and I'm so proud of us for that.
Yeah, we've never really, they say like to succeed on the internet you have to be cringe, and there's all these advice videos being like, embrace the cringe. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, we do not care. We will be the cringiest people ever.
We weren't people that posted this blog and then we're like, oh, well, we just won't share. We've shared it like on our Facebook. Like, we were like, oh, people like read our blog, but you know what? Everyone from day one has been so supportive.
Yeah. And yeah, so at the beginning, we really looked to like Elsie and Emma in A Beautiful Mess. We love that they were sisters, and it was very much a lifestyle blog. So we would do recipes, we would do like style posts. We were dabbling in beauty, so we started posting more like beauty content. But I would say the bulk of it was recipes and DIY.
Yeah.
And
We didn't get into makeup till we moved to LA after we graduated college, which was in 2014.
Yeah, so like about a year later. But I do think that was like in the heyday of when blogs started to take off, and everyone would always give the advice like pick a niche and stick to it. And I do think that back then we probably should have picked a niche. Like looking back, maybe we would have found more success. Maybe we would have been able to do it full time because our views did get pretty high. But we were doing it for fun, and we had so many things that we love to talk about, and I think that's something that's always like stuck with us, like even on this channel, like we don't just talk about makeup.
Yeah, it was too hard to narrow it down.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were just like off to the races. We started posting whatever, and then when we moved to LA, I feel like we found like a lot of like other bloggers.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was like really inspiring. We started to get more opportunities, and then we like really went all in on like, we purchased a digital camera. It wasn't that nice, but it was our first digital.
It was the Canon one, the Canon Rebel that everyone starts with.
We purchased a digital camera. We like started to teach ourselves photography. Yeah, we got lights, which we needed. That first house we lived in the valley was
So
really dark. We started filming YouTube at that time too. So our blog came first, and then we started to get into makeup, so yeah, we started to talk about makeup on the blog. But even on YouTube, when we first started, I think these are hidden. They might not be. Please don't look for them. But we had this series. Well, I think we've been over this, but we started with a coffee and cookie series, which again, so on brand. Once again, people do not change. We don't change. Our dear friend Craig, a few years ago, brought it up. He was like, "Do you guys still do that anymore? Do you guys still do that coffee and like cookie series on your channel?" Like, so sweet that he would watch it. Like, he's like a straight man, just like had no idea what we were rambling about. And
so sweet.
We were like, "No, we don't do that anymore."
Again, everyone's always been so supportive, but we actually liked it because we went to journalism school, so we would basically read like top 3 headlines of the news, like local news, worldly news, and then pop culture. Well, we had coffee and cookies, so it was actually a really good idea, but like super cringe, and we couldn't get the videos out fast enough so the news was relevant, so we stopped that. And then we started our Twinspiration Top 5 series, so we thought it would kind of like mirror what we were doing on our blog, and it was all over the place. Like, we just basically didn't narrow anything down for a while, which is why I feel like our channel hasn't grown that much, because we didn't start just posting beauty videos until like 2018, 2017.
So the blog was very similar to YouTube back then. But yeah, we started really focusing on DIY because, like we said, we were so inspired by Elsie and Emma, and we loved crafting at the time.
Yes.
I was huge into scrapbooks when we lived in San Diego. We had moved to LA. We were working part-time, coming from like full-time employment. We just found jobs part-time. So we had way less money. Obviously our rent was more expensive here. So
but
we were like
still so cheap compared to like what it is now.
Oh yeah, it was really, honestly, I actually think at one point I was only paying $300 because my boyfriend moved in and we had the smallest room. So
but we lived with 2 other girls, so it was a 4-bedroom like townhouse in the valley. In the valley.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was in Valley Village. It's not like that's the valley.
Yeah, but it's cheaper there.
People could assume it's like deep in the valley, like Tarzana.
It was like
something.
close to like North Hollywood.
Yeah. It was a good location. So anyway, we started to really get into DIY projects and just like use whatever money we had to like buy craft supplies. And I have such fond memories of those days, and that's when we really got a following on Pinterest.
Yeah.
So our projects, I had gotten a job. This is like such a long story.
Well, I will say we started getting bigger on Pinterest, I feel like, when we were even living in San Diego. Because I remember being at Jet Source on the weekends, like pinning all day long.
No, it's true. But then I got a job at like a small marketing company in LA, and my job was social media, but mostly Pinterest, because it was they owned like 6 blogs, and they found a lot of viewers organically through Pinterest. So they kind of taught me like the strategy, and we used Tailwind.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, Britta, I'm like learning all this stuff at this job. Like, I'm gonna apply it to like our stuff. So we both like would pin, and we had like this strategy.
Posts, yeah.
And we grew a lot. Like a lot of our DIYs blew up on Pinterest, and our blog just kept getting.
And that was the heyday of like lifestyle blogs and Pinterest and DIY. Like it was kind of like the perfect storm of all these things. Like people were loving Pinterest, people were loving DIY at the time. So I feel like we were kind of like right place, right time a little bit.
We were trying to figure out the biggest months we had, and our analytics is like awful now in WordPress, but we think it was like around 30,000 views a month. I swear it went up to like 50 one month.
Yeah,
50 or
probably.
60 when we were like going viral and stuff. So we had a lot of eyes on the blog at one point, and it was really rewarding. It was so amazing.
We were looking back, so we'll get to like we have kind of a rough outline of this video, but we were looking back at all these posts, and we had so many comments on some of them, and I think that's what I missed the most. Like I love YouTube because of the interactions with our audience. I feel like it's so nice when you guys comment and we can comment back, and it's like an actual conversation. I guess Instagram is like that too, TikTok a little bit less, but blogs, it was great when you would post something and people would ask questions or be like, oh, I made this, and you could just go back and forth with them, and it felt like an actual community, and I really missed that aspect of blogging.
Me too, and I feel like, people would actually apply, because I don't know, it's like so easy for me to like save a blog post and like remake a recipe or do the craft, but it's a little harder on YouTube for me. I don't know if it's just me, but like if someone does a makeup look, I'll be like, oh, I want to recreate that, but I rarely do.
No,
but with blogging, there was so much of like, oh, I did this and I changed this and made it my own, and like so much like taking and giving and just like back and forth, and like that's really unique to blogging, I feel.
On some questions, but we're first going over our favorite blog posts. So as we talk about them, we'll put some photos on the screen so you can see them. We'll obviously link all of these below, but the one we had to talk about is first is the DIY bar cart we did. It was an IKEA hack, and I don't know if you guys remember the website and Instagram account called IKEA Hackers, but they had their own IKEA hacks, and then they would repost others, and
you could submit your post, and we submitted this one.
Yeah, and they would always like repost ours, which was really helpful for traffic as well.
This was like our first viral post.
Yeah, we basically bought this like plain old cart from IKEA and added marble contact paper and spray painted it gold and jazzed it up, and we made it really cute, and the pictures weren't even that good. I specifically remember because Carly said that house was so dark. We had to put so many lights in the room, and my boyfriend Tommy always like laughs because the photo he took was the one that went viral, but he had to get like on the stairs to try to get a good picture because he's so tall. And so it's just funny looking back and like the behind the scenes of like what it took to make it.
So next on this fun reminiscing is our cheesecake bars recipe. This one might be my favorite because Britt and I have always we're really into nostalgia, and we're very nostalgic people, and we talk about snack foods from our childhood all the time that we miss, because you know, like those things were so comforting when you were a kid, and if they're not around now, it's like sad. And our favorite snack of all time is the Philadelphia cheesecake bars. We will insert a photo somewhere on here.
I think they brought them back, right? But we could never find them. Like
they never brought them back. They never brought them back.
They called them something else, but it was similar.
No,
yes, they did.
They did not.
I'm gonna look it up.
They never brought these back. And they were, I can still taste them in my mouth. Like they were so ingrained in our childhood. They also had brownie versions that were not as good. And they were delicious, and we were like, we have to recreate these. So we set out to make a recipe, and this was our first try. Like I know a lot of people when they blog, they would like try a recipe and like remake it until like they got it perfect. This was our first try, and they turned out perfectly. We like scooped the center and bought like this like fake like strawberry filling just so it would taste the same.
No, I think we made it. Maybe not. We'd have to look back.
But we love this blog post because they turned out so perfectly, you know, so nostalgic, and it got a lot of views. A lot of people
on Pinterest specifically, like on our blog too, but I feel like this is another one that like went viral on Pinterest, because if you search our blog post.
No one was doing it at the time. I think there's a few recipes now, but I think we were the first.
Next up is our Funfetti rainbow dip. We definitely were inspired by another recipe when we made this. You basically mix, I think it's like a tub of Cool Whip with cream cheese and a bag of cake mix. And we had the idea to separate it out and add food coloring and do like bright, like rainbow
like a tie-dye.
colors. Yeah, and it did turn out really cute, and the dip is actually really good. I don't think we eat it anymore,
Yeah.
but it was good at the time, and you eat it with animal crackers. And this one went viral because at the time was like those like bright, like poppy, like rainbow colors were really big.
Yeah, and like the photos that were like really saturated on Pinterest were doing so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it went viral. We had a ton of outlets reach out to us and ask us if like we could repost it on their site. So we were like, Snapchat was new, and we were on Snapchat because everyone said to get on Snapchat, but we never really posted on there. We didn't really know how it worked, and we were getting all these like messages from people and like follows on Instagram that day, and we were like, what's going on? Like, why are we getting all this, like all these views? And then someone was like, oh, you guys were featured on Snapchat today. Like, I don't know if you guys remember.
It was on the Food Network. Snapchat.
It was
Food Network.
No, it was Snapchat. Snapchat themselves had original content, and they had editors and writers.
Yes,
that
but they
worked for
partnered with outlets. Remember when you would go on Snapchat? We don't have it anymore, but there were brands. It was like Pop Sugar had one,
Yeah,
I
but
feel
this
like.
was like, it was like an internal Snapchat employee that was like wrote about us. She wrote about us. She worked for Snapchat. She found the dip, and she wrote about our blog, and she wrote about the dip, and she was like, oh, these twins are so cute. They do like DIY projects. And then we just got so many Instagram followers. We got some YouTube followers.
It was like a Food Network Snapchat story. Like I think she wrote for Food Network for Snapchat because they had, which actually I used to look at those.
Yeah,
like,
it was a really good idea at the time.
Yeah, how you could, there was like different news outlets and you could like click on their stories, kind of like how they do on Instagram stories these days. But yeah, that was
It was
great.
such an unexpected surprise, and it blew up.
Another honorable mention of a blog post is our DIY Christmas village. We were inspired by Studio DIY to do this one where you basically buy those like wooden little birdhouses from Michael's, and she does them for other holidays. Like I think she does an Easter village and Christmas, and hers are much better than ours. But we got inspired by her and made this cute little Christmas village that we still use. We'll put a picture here. It was so fun to make.
Yeah, it was so fun to make. It turned out so cute. This didn't like blow up or anything.
No.
But we personally loved it. Okay, next up is another food item. These are our pumpkin cookies, and this, like, they're not very attractive,
No.
but we make them every single year, and we have
They
other
taste
people tell
incredible.
us that they make them every single year, and they still get views on our blog. The pictures aren't extraordinary or anything, but
We should probably redo the pictures this year.
yeah, but we love them.
Okay, and then we also have cake donuts. We got really into making donuts
With cake mix.
with cake mix.
It was also a huge thing on Pinterest.
yeah, and you basically buy like the little donut pan and you make the batter and then you bake them.
There was like a way to
add
like
icing.
you use like less oil or water or something.
Yeah, and they tasted good, but they tasted like cake, not like donuts. But I love cake donuts. But we made Valentine's Day ones that were like red velvet with pink icing. We made circus animal cookie ones that were pink with the circus animal cookies on top. We made, what was the other one that we did? We'll put a picture of all of them. Yeah. And we got really into that, and those also did pretty well on Pinterest.
This was also when I remember we got a new lens on our camera.
Oh yeah.
And so the photos were just like so much better. It was the 50mm like prime lens. Like,
Yeah.
that was our first like investment with our original camera. So this was kind of like when we turned around with our photography too.
Yeah.
And then the pineapple paloma, this is another one that I think I got views.
Yeah.
But we just love the photos. I think that it's like my favorite that we ever styled.
Yeah, agreed.
And like did. The drink itself wasn't groundbreaking, but it was like exactly what we wanted when we thought of like our favorite bloggers, and we were like, oh, like their photography's so good, like it's so cute, everything they do is so nice. Like this was that to us.
Yeah, like we felt like we were like on the level.
Yeah, like
that's Bethany would
yeah,
say.
like we did it. And it was just really rewarding to look back at that post, and it was such a simple post, but it was just like a turning point.
Okay, I think we're gonna need to do a second part to this, because we have a few other prompts we wanna go over. So if you're interested to hear more about like some of our favorite memories, our accomplishments, listen or watch part 2 in a few days or next week. I don't know when we'll be posting these.